Today's topic is really simple. It is my thoughts on the latest AD100. And really, I think that is a really weird oddball of a flash in the Godox lineup. I'm Richard and welcome to Zappy Productions. Recently, Godox just launched the new AD100. It is touted to be similar to the can, similar shape as a can itself. It's probably really small, really light, 500 grams. And if you look at the marketing material, it is in every single form and way the V1 flash, probably slightly shorter by losing the bottom mount, some buttons, and then losing the swivel here. It is a slightly shorter version of the V1 flash, and then it uses the same mount as you can see on the AD300 here, the same mount to mount on a light stand. And if you see the marketing material, it goes further, is that in the front of the head itself is the same as the V1. It is a zoomable head with a modeling light, and it is magnetic, which is probably the best feature of the AD100, using the same really nice magnetic mount used in the AD200 and the V1 flash. Now, the thing is, why do I feel that the AD100 is an oddball? It's really simple. Firstly, it costs $40 more than the V1. It is 100 watt seconds of power. $40 more. This is, by the way, 76 watt second, and that is 100 watt second. 40 USD more, or about 20% more in price, about 15% more in price. Now, maybe that is justifiable. I mean, it has 1/3 more power, which isn't very significant in the flash world. I mean, 1/3 power is something that you can just adjust in today's camera, right? So, that little bit more power costs 40 USD more, but let's take a look at what is lost. Firstly, if you look at a V1, you lose, the ability to mount onto the camera. You lose the hot shoe ability. Secondly, with the hot shoe ability, you also lose the master flash ability. By the way, the V1 can be used as a master flash to control other flashes. That's the second ability. And third thing, you lose the swivel head. Now, this swivel head is really nice. The reason is very simple. With the hot shoe mount, you can buy the cheap plastic hot shoe holder, put it on the floor, bend the head in whatever you want, and can use it for backlights, floor light, whatever effects. And that thing can also be put on the table, on the floor, anywhere with a flat surface. And you can also mount it on a stand, because most of those plastic pieces have a spigot or a threaded mount to mount it on light stands easily. And you still have the tilted and the rotational ability of the V1 flash. Now, the AD100 takes away all of that, the rotational, swivel, the hot shoe, the master ability, and they still charge you $40 more than the V1 flash. The AD100 costs $40 more, losing so many ability and just 1/3 more power. It is really, really odd. And the second part of the oddball is, look at the AD100. Now, I have owned many Godox flash. I also own the AD200, which is in my studio here, the AD300 and the AD600. I don't own the AD400 because I feel that it's another oddball. The fact that you have to use the adapter to put Bowen makes it bigger than the AD600, or the same size as the AD600, which defeats the purpose. The AD300 to me is the very nice balance, but this guy is not cheap. It is 500 USD, 200 USD more than AD100, so I shall not use it to compare. Let's look at the AD200, and you can get a non-pro version, which is just slightly slower, just slightly more inaccurate. But that thing's same price, is 300 USD. Now, of course, if you buy the magnetic mount, it will have cost you 360 USD, 60 USD more than the AD100. And it is a bigger flash. But with the bigger flash, it comes with a bigger battery. And not only that, the flash head itself, you have a few heads now. You have the bare bulb, which is really useful if you're using modifiers like I'm using now, or the modifiers like this. And if you're not using modifier, you can always use a round head and get a full magnetic ability with a flash that is actually twice the power of the AD100. Now, AD100 have advantage over the AD200, and that is the zoomable head, which means that if you just want to focus the light, you don't really need modifiers. But anything beyond just focusing the light requires modifiers. And the moment you bring modifiers into the equation, the AD100 just feels weird. Look at the S2, Godox S2, which is what is recommended, by the way, to mount the AD100 with a Bowen modifier. And just look at this. I mean, this guy is huge. This guy probably takes up more space in your bag than the 8100 will ever take up. So the 8100, the way they have described it is really as a portable flash. You can hold it and utilize it like this. But won't the V1 be a better choice? Think about it. Firstly, you can use it on your hot shoe when you require it as an events photographer, as a wedding photographer. This is a better choice, right? Put it on your camera and use it on shoe. Now, going off shoe itself, the ability to actually tilt the head is so important. Yes, the 8100, you can actually get the adapter, which comes with the 8300 also, the adapter, and then mount on the bottom of the 8100 and use it and tilt around. But that is another piece of equipment, and this guy doesn't need. I mean, that plastic piece I don't count as equipment because it's so small, right? The total size of the 8100 as a portable flash won't be any better than the V1. Once again, you get 25 or 24 watt more power, 1/3 more power, but you lose the ability to swivel your head up and down easily. You can't rotate too. I mean, you can rotate on the light stand, of course, but you can't put it on the floor easily. You need to have some sort of floor mount to actually even put the 8100 on the floor. So you actually lose quite some usability aspect in the 8100, yet still paying more money just for a little bit more power. Which brings back, what is that power for? Now, that little bit more power is only useful if you put in a modifier. I mean, off the modifier itself, a V1 is probably enough. I mean, this guy can overpower the sun. If put close enough to the subject and pointed in the right way, it can overpower the sun. So the 1/3 more light probably doesn't make too much difference. If you are talking about modifier, once again, as I said, look at the mount, it's how big. Look at her average 65 cm softbox. How big is this? The 8100 makes no sense because it is small for being compact, but you lose the versatility of the swivel heads and stuff in the speedlight, and you don't get much more power, and it actually costs more. If you ask me, honestly, I will pay $60 more for the 8200, which is just slightly bigger, but I get twice the power. I get a bare bulb that is really useful when I put it inside a modifier. I get a speedlight if I want to really focus the beam, and I still get a round head, and I can use all the magnetic mounts. Yes, I don't have the zoom function, but with the round head, I probably can put all the necessary thing. I can lose half the power and still have the same amount of power as the 8100. But when I put in a modifier, I have 2 times more power than the 8100, which is all the difference that it makes. Really, if you ask me today, the choice is between the 8100, the 8200, and the V1. If you are going for a portable solution, at least based on specification, maybe somebody have tested in the field and say that it is superior to the V1 significantly. Maybe there's a difference. But at least for now, based on the marketing material, based on what is launched so far, based on what I read, in every form and way, it is a V1 without the added advantage of the swivel and the hot shoe. And if you ask me for $40 more, I'll say save the $40, buy the V1, and you can use it like a normal flash. You can put it on the floor with that plastic mount and use it as a off-shoe speedlight. You can put it easy on a light stand and use it as an off-shoe speedlight. It is a lot more versatile to get the V1 than the 8100. And then, if you really want a 8100, why not look at the 8200? For just that slightly bigger size, you get a bigger battery, a significantly bigger battery. I mean, the battery in the 8200 is the same battery as in the V3, as in the 8300. And you look at the V1 battery, it is so much smaller. This guy has a lot more capacity. Just look at the writing here, 18.72 watt hours. And this guy, let's take a look. 41 watt hours. It has twice the capacity. And really, if I was to make a choice for the same price, really exact same price, I would have got the 8200 in every single decision. I mean, the 8100, yes, you save some space, but considering its purpose, its form factor, I would say the 8200 is a better choice. I mean, seriously, you're not going to save much weight. Look, the modifier and the light stand probably weigh more than the flash itself. Anyway, I mean, yes, you can throw the light stand anyhow, but the flash itself, the V1 here and the 8200 really won't take up a lot more space than the 8100 and give you more versatility at a lower price, if not twice the power at the same price. No matter how you slice it, I think the 8100 is really positioned very weirdly. Now, if the 8100 was the same price as the V1, it will become an alternative to the V1, and I thought that is not bad. But for $40 more, it becomes not an alternative. It actually costs significantly more, at least noticeably more, and doesn't give you anything more. slightly more power, but lose so much more function. So really, if you ask me, my recommendation is to buy the V1 if you're looking for a portable flash, and buy the 8200 if you're looking for a flash to be mounted into a softbox or into the S mount, because the 8200 probably will do a way better job, especially with the bare bulb itself. Now, of course, if you can afford it, the 8300 is the best for 60% more price. You get 3 times the light, 300%, right? 200% more, 3 times the light. And you get a proper Godox mount, which means you don't need this oversized S mount to put a modifier on it. In the Godox mount, you have soft boxes, you have snoots, you have grids. So really, the 8300 for $200 more, you get something that's actually truly portable, because without this mount itself, you can now save this whole big space and just put a modifier, which is smaller because the Godox mount is smaller, onto the flash itself and get similar capabilities. And that's about it for today. I just want to say that the 8100 is truly an oddball. I've used so many Godox flashes. Godox is just launching flash after flash after flash. Yes, they are usually affordable. They are very good. They perform as good, if not just slightly lousier than the competition, at a very affordable price. But the 8100 is really odd. It's like nowhere here, nowhere there, fighting with his own V1 and 8200, yet doesn't provide anything more, yet costs more. I really can't understand its market position in the flash market itself. And that's about it for today's short little talk on the 8100. I just want to get it off my head, because after I see the promotion material, I just say it is totally a V1 with just slightly more power, yet they take away so many more things to save money and still charge us more money for it. I really don't understand on that. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again. If you have any comments, maybe you disagree with me, you can just write down in the comments below and we can discuss about it. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.